Welcome to the Mind Shift Show. I am your host, Pamela Bloomfield. I help empty nest moms transition from uncertainty to a life filled with joy and vibrant purpose, guiding them to exciting new chapters. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on another podcast. This week, we'll be talking about illuminating senior care options. And I have a special guest who is an expert in that field. And I thought I'd invite her on so that you can glean some knowledge if you have a family member or a friend who needs senior care. Then Cynthia Montano is your go to person. Let me introduce her through her bio. Everything changed for Cynthia and her family when her mom fell, broke her hip, and began to show signs of dementia. She realized her mom needed more care than her dad, and a 24/7 caregiver could provide, but she and her family didn't know where to go or whom to trust. They struggled to make such an emotional decision alone, wishing they had trusted a trusted advisor, someone who had been in a similar situation and could support and guide them. The family made the best decision they could at the time, but it wasn't an ideal way to manage such a life-changing event. Sensing there was much more to learn on the subject, Cynthia began to explore a career in senior living. And over the last 12 years, she has worked as Director of Sales and Marketing and Director of Community Relations in memory care, assisted living, and independent living communities, and has been both an adult care center volunteer and a Connecticut hospice trained volunteer. Now, she finds that providing emotional support and guidance to seniors and their families gives her a broader sense of purpose. Cynthia knows it's an honor and a privilege to be a senior care consultant and focuses her time with Always Best Care in assisted living placement. During this most precious moment in time, as seniors prepare to cross the threshold into a new phase of life, she guides families in sorting out the disorienting maze of all the available assisted living housing options and helps them find a community where they will feel safe, secure, and loved. Cynthia has always enjoyed being on the water and currently lives on the shoreline in Branford, Connecticut. As an avid reader and learner, Cynthia loves everything mystical and esoteric. She loves to travel and has visited several countries in Europe and the Caribbean and has studied abroad in Mexico and France. As a proud restaurant owner, she enjoys hosting parties for and stimulating conversations with friends, new friends, and family. It is my pleasure to introduce and bring up on stage Cynthia Montano. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, hello, Pamela. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here with you today.
It's great having you on today's podcast. So, that bio, oh my goodness, that just said everything, but I still want to know more, and I'm sure our readers and our listeners want to hear more about you. So, what inspired you to focus on service for senior citizens? Tell us a little bit more.
Well, as my bio had said, I had been watching my mom become slower and slower and a little bit more confused as the days went by. And it was such a helpless feeling because she had always been so vibrant and so alive and so involved in family and in the community. And I just started to notice that about her. And then when she fell and broke her hip, she really went downhill. That's kind of the classic story that many families come to me with, that, mom fell, dad fell, or there was some kind of accident, and just their whole demeanor, their whole vitality changes and shifts. And it's really a very helpless kind of feeling. And I didn't know what to do. My family didn't know what to do. And it was really a hard place to be with the family, feeling that sense of helplessness.
Yes, I can just imagine. And there are so many seniors who are facing that today. So you're the expert. You have been through the senior care and helping your mom. So I know that that speaks and tugs at your heart. So thank you for even deciding to go into that profession, because that's a profession and a career that's really well needed today.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
always best care. Tell us a little bit more about Always Best Care. What is so unique about Always Best Care and the services that organization provides?
Well, Always Best Care Senior Services is a national franchise. We have over 260 locations throughout Connecticut and throughout the nation. I'm sorry, 260 throughout the nation and 6 franchises in Connecticut. So we're a very small state, but we've got 6 franchises. And I had met the owner and the director of the Wallingford, Connecticut franchise, Linda Craig, and we became fast friends. And one day we were at a picnic and we were talking, and she said, "Why don't you come and join me?" And so we talked, and I decided that I wanted to work with and for her. I have a great deal of respect for her and the business that she has created. Another service that the company offers is non-medical home care services. So we're actually able to go into the home and provide home care services such as companionship, transportation, someone to come in and be with the senior and provide companionship. Maybe they need help with standby in the shower or a little bit of housekeeping and straightening up. So we provide that service also. And my piece to that is, as an assisted living referral agent, I help those seniors find the right senior living community. And oftentimes the home care piece is that bridge that gets the family from let's keep mom home as long as we can to we really need to make the decision to move her into an assisted living community that is appropriate and right for her. So it's not just finding an assisted living community. I find out about mom. Who is she? Did she work? What was her career? Does she like music? Does she like to travel? Because every community is a little bit different, and the mix of residents in those communities is a little bit different, and the activities that they have to offer are a little bit different. And so, yes, I'm kind of like a realtor who is finding that right community, but it's got to be right all around to fit mom as completely as is possible.
And that's excellent. So you're the senior care / realtor. I love that.
And we can add to that surrogate daughter, because it's usually
There
the
you
daughter
go.
who has
There you
that role. And the wonderful thing about my
Yes,
service
yes.
is that it's free. And I have worked with, in my now 14 years of experience, I've worked with over 1,000 individuals and families offering this free service, personalized service, and I can place any senior anywhere in the state of Connecticut.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Does your organization venture out? Are you also any like international, like Canada or neighbors, or is it solely within Connecticut?
Right now, it is solely national. And again, there are six franchises in Connecticut. The great thing about being a national organization is, for example, I just spoke with a daughter this morning. Her parents live in Maryland, and she wants to bring her family back to the Connecticut area. In the meantime, I have put her in touch with a franchise location in Maryland where her parents are, who can provide them with home care support until she moves them here. And then we will begin to find them the right senior living community.
That's wonderful. So you definitely are a realtor. Definitely are
Yes.
a realtor. Yes, yes, I love that. Now, what are the biggest, or I should say, what is the biggest challenge that you find families are facing?
There are a couple of really upfront, huge challenges that I face. This is a threshold moment in time. This is like the birth of a child, someone graduating from high school or college or getting married. It's a step into a whole new way of being, whether you're the children or siblings, or these are your parents. And also for the parent, there's there's fear in making this next step, regardless of who is involved. And that unknown can be very frightening. And the unknown can bring up a lot of emotion. It can bring up a lot of past emotions. And I find that I'm not only that realtor or surrogate daughter for the family, but I'm also a bit of a therapist. I have to oftentimes meet with the children and say, what you're going through, what you're experiencing, what you're feeling is normal, and help them work through that.
Mm-hmm.
And also let them know that, yes, you're going through these emotional, trying times, but the focus now is on mom. The focus now is on dad. Let's get all of the information out on the table. And that includes, where do you want mom to live? What's the budget? What's the monthly budget? What kind of community do you think mom would like to live in? If my mom is at a point in her life where she can still communicate those ideas, then she's also part of that process. And we work to find the right place.
Yes. So, are there any collaborations or partnerships that have enhanced the services that you offer?
Great question. Yes, absolutely. I can't do everything all by myself. If I'm speaking with a family and they have, for example, a complex financial situation, or they have not identified a POA or a power of attorney, then I would recommend that they speak with an elder care attorney, not necessarily just an attorney, but an attorney who is qualified to consult on elder care issues. Maybe they need a realtor. Maybe they need someone to help them manage the move. These are called move management companies. I've had people ask me, do I know somebody who can help, who can replace their roof or clean out their basement? Or mom has a number of antiques, furniture, artwork, you name it. I can find those referral sources. And I do want to add, because I think this is very important, I don't recommend any referral source I haven't met personally. So much of my time is out there in the community, meeting all different kinds of people, because I never know when I might need someone. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I met a woman who is an expert in organizing. That's what she does. So she will go to the house and she will just organize. She went to one of my clients' homes and organized everything so that when the move management company came, they knew exactly what to take. Everything was labeled, where it went in the new apartment. This can be as smooth a move as possible.
Hmm. This reminds me, and you alluded to that too. When a child leaves home, because I'm in supporting empty nest moms, so this is a new transition too for the family, and they're
Yes.
going through. They're experiencing all these emotions and these fears because fear of the unknown. That's
Yes.
huge. You don't know what's coming down the turnpike. So you're there to fill that gap. That's what you do. You fill that gap based on what you're saying. You're
Yes.
the go-to person for the family.
Yes. And
Also,
because I've been
also
through it.
like a mom. Yes, also
Yeah.
like a mom and daughter and realtor, you wear a lot of hats.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Now we met at the chamber. We met at the Chamber of Commerce meeting. Would you like to say how the collaboration with the chamber helps your business as well?
Well, a chamber's main job and main responsibility is to bring the community together. And so the meetings at the Hamden Chamber of Commerce do just that. They offer many, many opportunities for business people within the community to come together, whether that's at a restaurant and we're having a networking event at a restaurant, or a business location, or even in their office. The Hamden Chamber is very, very active in the community, and they really support their members in introducing members, bringing in new members, providing whatever services members, or even whether it's in Hamden or anywhere in the country, is really your support staff, your support team. They're there to introduce you to others within the community and to expose you to the community at large. So if anyone is considering joining the Hamden Chamber or any chamber, I would highly recommend it.
Yes, highly recommended. So tell me, as we start wrapping up, what advice would you give to someone who is interested in starting a business in the senior care industry? What would you offer?
This is an industry that involves people. It involves people who are aging. It involves people who are entering oftentimes into a phase of compromised cognitive abilities and oftentimes physical limitations. It is or can be emotional, because you're dealing with families that are going through oftentimes a crisis. I would recommend working for somebody initially, volunteering at an adult day center, volunteering at a hospice location, and really seeing if working within the senior living community, working with and for seniors, is something that you really want to do. This is not like going into an office and sitting at a desk, or working with other business people, or working with or working for, or offering your business to another business person. This is really, it's a unique industry, because we're dealing with other people, and we're dealing with people who, whether it's emotional, physical, or cognitive, they're compromised in some way. And so you really have to have a heart to work with seniors.
Yes, and it requires a lot of patience too.
Yes.
A lot
Yes.
of patience. Yes, and I would think you have to want to do it.
Yes.
So that's
And
really
and
important for us to stress.
and I would say for me, this is a calling for me. This isn't a job. This isn't work. This is a calling for me.
So you have found your purpose.
I have found my
You
purpose.
have found you have found your purpose, and that's so vital for anyone to venture into any industry. It has to be a part of your purpose, not just passion, but also your purpose. I
Yes.
thank you so much for that. So, Cynthia, when you are not on this mission, what are some of your hobbies?
I love to read. I love to read anything that's mysterious and esoteric. And I love to read about spiritual topics. That really intrigues me. And understanding what my, not only what my purpose is here, as I had mentioned before, but why am I here on a larger scale? So, conversations with God and reading about other people's experiences and how they've gone through their transitions, and what books are they reading? What spiritual topics are they reading? I work with a spiritual mentor, a spiritual advisor. We meet by Zoom twice a month, and she guides me, just like people work with a business mentor. I work with a spiritual mentor.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, my dear listeners, you have just been treated to vital information. If you or your family member is seeking help, seeking someone to help guide you in the senior care with senior care options, Cynthia is your person. So, Cynthia, please tell our listeners how can they get in touch with you?
The best way to get in touch with me is either by calling or texting, and my number is 475 559 6899. Again, that number is 475 559 6899. Or they can email me at CMONTANO at abc-seniors.com.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it was a pleasure having you on today's podcast where we talked about illuminating senior care options. And so, my friends, I want to thank you all for joining me on another week's podcast. I hope that you will continue to enjoy the rest of your day. You can find me on LinkedIn, find me on Facebook with the Empowered Nest Moms, and that is the name of my Facebook group. You can also find me on YouTube, listening to your favorite podcasts, including this one on YouTube. Until next time, my website is Coaching Your Growth, www.coachingyourgrowth.com. Thank you and have a wonderful and amazing day.
Thank you, Pamela.